The budget discussion. Sarah had been feeling a knot of anxiety in her stomach for weeks about their finances. Mark had recently taken on a new hobby that was proving more expensive than they'd anticipated, and she felt their savings dwindling. Tonight, she decided, was the night to talk about it. After dinner, instead of collapsing onto the couch to watch TV, Sarah suggested they sit at the kitchen table. It was a neutral space, unlike their cozy bedroom, where financial discussions often felt too personal and stressful. This was the first step. Get comfortable. As Mark sat down, Sarah made a conscious effort to give him her full attention. She put her phone face down on the counter and leaned slightly towards him, her body language conveying her readiness to connect. Mark, sensing her seriousness, did the same, turning off the baseball game highlights on his tablet. This was the second step. Give your partner your full attention. They made eye contact, not an intense stare, but a steady gaze that communicated their presence and willingness to engage. This was the third step. Look at your partner. Mark, Sarah began, taking a breath. I've been feeling a little worried lately about our spending, especially with the new expenses for your drone hobby. This was her I statement, owning her feelings without blaming him. She wasn't saying, "You're spending too much money," but rather expressing her own internal state. This was the fourth step. Use I statements. She continued, I know you're really enjoying the drone, and it's great to see you so passionate about something. What are your thoughts on where we stand financially right now and how the drone expenses are fitting into our budget? She offered an open question, inviting him to share his perspective rather than a simple yes or no answer. This was the fifth step. Invite your partner to share their perspective. Mark started to explain the initial costs and how he saw them balancing out. Sarah, though a part of her wanted to interject with her own calculations, made a concerted effort not to interrupt. She focused on his words, reminding herself of their overarching goal, honest communication and a better relationship. This was the sixth step. Don't interrupt. When he finished, Sarah said, What I hear you saying is that the initial investment for the drone was significant, but you anticipate the ongoing costs will be manageable, and you're enjoying the new skill it's helping you develop. Is that right? She was reflecting back on what she heard, checking for accuracy and demonstrating her active listening and empathy. This was the seventh step. Reflect back to your partner. Mark nodded. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I figured we had some wiggle room, and I've been really careful about other spending. Okay, Sarah said. I think we both want what's best for us as a couple and for our future together. She emphasized the collaborative language, shifting the focus from individual desires to the health of their relationship. We have to consider the third entity in the room, our financial security as a couple. This was the eighth step. 1 + 1 = 3. I agree, Mark said. I hadn't thought about it quite like that. Sarah then moved to solutions, being careful to use tentative language. Well, perhaps we could try sitting down next weekend and really looking at our budget together line by line. Or what if I kept track of our spending for a month, and then we could review it and see if there are areas we can adjust. She then offered an even better alternative. I'm a little stuck on the best way forward here. What do you think we need to do next to make sure we're both comfortable with our financial situation? This was the ninth step. Be solution-focused. They continued to keep the communication flowing, brainstorming ideas, and listening to each other. They didn't solve everything that night, but they had a clear plan to revisit the budget together and make adjustments. The conversation, though potentially difficult, had brought them closer, strengthening their bond through open and honest dialogue. This was the 10th and final step. Be open to change and progression.